My biggest lament is that the political reporting in this country is not reflecting the reality of Trump. The reason why Trump is winning is not because of the Republican establishment was frozen. The reason why Trump is winning in the Republican primary is because the Republican base, not the margins of the party, but the center of the party, 50% in the center of that party, are nativists, authoritarians, and racists. And Donald Trump could come out pro-trade tomorrow. He could come out anti-Social Security tomorrow. He could come out. As long as he maintains those three elements, the anti-PC, the xenophobia, and the anti-PC is basically racism and misogyny. The xenophobia and this sort of tough guy, authoritarian qualities, he's not going to lose those people under any circumstance because they don't care about the rest of it. And that has been the animating factor that has been growing in the Republican Party and the conservative movement for years. And anybody who has spent their time, legitimately spent their time watching it, is not surprised by this. Here's some people on Bloomberg television who still don't get it. This is Steve Ratner, who was the guy who oversaw the GM thing. And this guy has apparently had to settle a pay-to-play scandal, I don't know, back in 2010. But nevertheless, here he is giving his political take to Stephanie Ruhle and David Weston on Bloomberg. This is a work of art.
What does this tell us about Mr. Trump's base?
I think it's interesting to look at Mr. Trump's base because I don't think it's actually that confusing when you look at some of the numbers. So these are nationwide numbers of who are supporting Trump, Cruz, and Rubio, the three basic finalists that we're looking at the moment. And so you can see that Trump is 63% of his supporters are men, Cruz 31%, Rubio 56%, so more men for Trump. If you look at
a lot more men, twice as many Trump men as Cruz. Cruz is way underperforming in men.
Very interesting. Well, I think it may be that he's overperforming with women in a sense because of the evangelical side, but whatever. If you look at education level, you'll see that, again, Trump has a higher percentage of people without a college degree than his two principal competitors.
And again, Rubio's way low.
And Rubio is way low. He has them. In fact, he does very well with well-educated postgraduate types. And then if you look at income, you see, again, Trump has a higher percentage of people with income less than $50,000. So what does it say? It says that you're looking at men, mostly white, without a college degree, with lower incomes. These are the people who have taken it on the chin over the last 6 or 7 years during this so-called recovery.
Given that he is a New York businessman billionaire, you know, what many people had an issue with when it came to Mitt Romney, why is it that non-college degree people with low incomes seem to like Donald Trump?
Pause it. Now, let me tell you one word that you have not heard in the whatever minute and a half they've been analyzing this. The word Republican has not come up. And this Stephanie Ruhle or whatever, she doesn't remember that Mitt Romney won the Republican primary. So I don't know why this is confusing to her. The idea that Trump has 63% and Rubio has only 56% men. What? No college degree. Trump 59%, Rubio 33%. And Cruz has 52%. In other words, they're ignoring the fact that this is the Republican Party. They're ignoring the fact that if you eliminate Trump, Cruz is still winning in all these things anyways. And if Trump was to go away, Cruz would get the majority of those voters. Trump wins in every group. He wins in every group except for, I think, the most educated in the Republican Party because they're there anyways just to get their tax breaks, and they know they get it with anybody. And they don't want necessarily the riffraff to be empowered. That's the game they've been playing for years. So it's basically Rubio wins Jeb Bush, and Trump and Cruz win the rest of the Republican Party. But they don't even say they're just mystified by this.
That is one of the great mysteries of the whole situation, because nobody thought that a billionaire of any sort could be successful.
Well, he wasn't a billionaire. This is a...
Mitt Romney was a 100 millionaire. But we never thought a billionaire could win. We only thought a 100 millionaire could win.
A little bit Reagan Democrats, isn't it?
Well,
it's the angry blue collar.
He's got the Reagan Democrats,
what he's got,
but
exactly.
Reagan wasn't a billionaire. Reagan, in fact, was kind of one of them. He'd come from a very modest background and so on and so forth. But if we look at the next chart,
let's talk about Nevada specifically.
Pause it. Do they not remember that Mitt Romney was really struggling as a grad student with just $100,000 or $200,000 portfolio that his parents provided? The words Democrats come up before Republicans. That's how he's winning. Reagan Democrats. That's how he's winning the Republican primary. It's Reagan Democrats, isn't it? I got news for you. Reagan Democrats from 1982 are now just the old white guys that are the Republican Party. Continue.
So what's going on in Nevada is that its economy has also suffered. As you know, it was heavily dependent on housing, heavily dependent on the casino gambling industries, which both had a very tough time during the recession. And so you can see that the unemployment rate in Nevada went up as high as 14%, and it's still well above the national average. So a lot of those people that we just identified are probably still unemployed.
Yeah, so those undereducated men are out of jobs and angry.
They're out of jobs, angry, and if you look at the last chart, you'll see they also may be out of houses, because Nevada has the second highest foreclosure rate in the country after New Jersey, which also got a little bit of attention during this primary season.
But if they're unemployed and angry, that would make one believe they're going to be angry with the current president, Barack Obama. Many people have said if Donald Trump is the Republican candidate, he is going to be handing this election to Hillary Clinton. Isn't Hillary Clinton getting the baton from Obama, and all of these Americans who lost their jobs, who are faced with a housing crisis, they can't be happy with Democrats?
Sure, I think that's right.
Pause
and
it.
I think
Yeah, except for the fact that President Obama has a much higher approval rating than Donald Trump does nationally. That's exactly right, except for it's totally wrong. And the reason why it's totally wrong is because we refuse to mention the fact that this is a Republican Party phenomena. And these angry people are turning to xenophobia. There is just a complete denial. These people are in complete denial. I'm just completely mystified by this. Why would they be They don't say anything about he wants to deport Muslims. He wants to build a wall to keep the Mexican rapists out. He wants to beat up his protesters. He literally picks on the other candidates, calling them sweaty, liars, psychos, weak.
True.
None of this registers with them somehow. It's just, must be the housing crisis.
Which happened under Obama, apparently.
Yes.